Okay, does anybody see anything on any network?
Yes,
Live on
I
X.
see live on Facebook.
Cool.
Live
Okay,
on
people.
semi-live on LinkedIn.
How
What does that mean?
Semi-live mean?
It's saying it's live, but there's no video.
Delay. Hmm.
Let me refresh. and see
That's a
what happens.
Republican tactic.
Now it's refreshed and now it's video.
Excellent. Okay, so we're ready to roll, correct?
No, we're ready to rock.
Or rock and roll.
You rock, I'll roll. Okay. All right, folks. So we're about to stream. We're about to start the Gillmor gang. We are streaming on a few platforms, maybe even LinkedIn. We don't know. And we'll leave it at that. Okay. Mute is off. And we're going to go in 3, 2, 1, and.
Hi, Steve Gillmor here. This is the Gillmor gang. And I'm listening today courtesy of this tooth, which is no longer here. So let's see what that does to
Well, let's have some fun with that.
transcript. Okay, good luck. Let me know when you're having fun
Can we
and
choose
I'll
it?
leave.
Okay.
So from the state of South Carolina, no, it's
No.
Georgia. I'm not allowed to say what I usually say, but courtesy of Brent last week, he actually said it. Yeah.
Hi, Brent.
Because I actually was. So,
It's Brent Leary.
hello.
That's it, Brent?
Yeah, it's an improv off the cuff.
An enthusiastic.
I don't know. What are you guys talking about?
That's enough for a. That was enough for a lower 12th, but not a lower third for sure.
Well,
I'll just warn you guys right now. I'm splitting my time between this and Wimbledon. So
So wait a minute. I
Something he's
left and
interested in.
Sinner was in a tie break in the second set. In the
he won the second set
third set.
tiebreak.
Third set. I mean, third set.
Oh, yeah,
What's
that's
going
just
on?
kicking off.
So my wife has been watching it since like 8 a.m. And it's like the closest game ever.
Well, and I got to tell you, the women's singles final was really good. It was really good. Now, don't ask me to tell you which one of them was. They both had KOV in their last name. I do know that.
It's the first. It's the first time two Czechs have ever been in a final.
Historic, and they played great anyway. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your introduction.
It's all right, and we're going to. It's okay. Let's still introduce people. Steve, you want me to do
it? From the state of what is that? London, England. Is Frank Radis. Welcome, Frank.
Hello, Steve, Tina, gangsters. Good to be here as always.
It's the gambling man.
No, you got that wrong.
I'm sorry.
You got that wrong. I because it's called the Pool Hall Gambling Man. And by the way, I got 567 listens on Spotify, which means I'll probably make about 0.00000
round up
1 pennies.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know how they're going to do that direct deposit immediately. We'll see.
So Frank,
but it's pretty cool.
Frank, why don't we talk about that a little bit later? Because that's kind of
okay. At the end, I mean, look, I think that the process will interest the technophobes and this technocrats.
Technophobes?
The technocrats in the group because it involves AI in a very interesting way. We'll talk about that.
You just got Steve's attention.
Yes,
Steve just fell asleep. He kind of looks like Mitch McConnell.
Wow.
And last, we're
not even close.
Oh, we're not even
close. Not close.
Go ahead.
Thank you. From the state of Palo Alto is Keith Tier. Welcome, Keith.
Good morning. Go England.
Why?
Wow.
We absolutely crushed Norway with great difficulty.
My God, what a game.
Well, at least they weren't fighting against the messy triangle.
Well, that's the next game. I've got a very good friend who's in Buenos Aires, who she's one of my kid's former teacher from elementary school, who obviously is Argentinian, and she's a huge soccer fan. So she and I text all the time about the games, and as of this morning, it's open war between us.
All the friendship just went out the window, huh?
She's
What time?
she,
What time
she's
is
re,
it?
she's reminding me about Maradona's Hand of God goal from I think it was
The
1980.
84 World Cup. I mean, even I know that one.
And then I'm
Yeah,
reminding
Obama did it.
and I'm reminding her about Beckham beating them up with a penalty in whenever that was, 2002 or something.
And then he bent it, didn't he?
You know,
Somebody.
there's something to be said about bent artifacts.
Okay.
Okay, then.
And
Let's not say it here.
That's what she said.
how we doing?
Or we've got one more.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And from the state of their house, Steve and Tina Gillmor.
Hi.
Never
It's
happened
me.
before.
Hello,
From
and
just to my right is our producer director, Tina Chase Gillmor.
Amaze.
okay. So yeah, I've been loving the games. Really, and every American that I've talked to who before wasn't interested, now they're interested. So I think
Brent is
done quite well.
holding out. Sure.
Brent.
You know,
Holding
if
out.
the TV is on, and ain't nothing else on, I do watch it.
Okay, so Brent's watched a game or two.
Yeah.
What was your favorite of the games?
I like the Mbappe guy.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. He's the big star that is going to be why France wins it all.
But that's like saying I like chocolate ice cream. I mean,
I like chocolate ice cream.
I like chocolate ice cream. I like vanilla as well.
What's wrong with chocolate ice cream?
Is it? Well, yeah. So you like a star. Yeah.
No, he's got the advantage of not being 100 years old.
Them seem a little like
good.
They might be a little arrogant, but like, why shouldn't they be? They're great ball players, right? So, football players, ball players. Yeah, let's get the words right.
Okay, so how about those senators that are want to say, although I disagree with him violently for many years, I think Lindsey Graham, you can tell from the people that eulogized him that a sense of humor can take you very far. And he was a funny man.
You know, Steve, didn't you think, because I was living in Washington early on in his career, and we covered him a lot, and he was a totally different person as a senator before Trump, BT, because he was respected, he was smart. I don't think anybody could say some of the things about him that they say now, or would even care to. But I I just want to quote my former boss at NBC, Vince Manzi, saying that he'd be curious to hear Mitch McConnell's comments on the passing of Lindsey Graham.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. That's all I got.
And why aren't we being told about what's going on with Mitch McConnell?
Oh, it's all about votes. By their silence, I think we're being told. But it's a shame that there's so many AI images out there. I love the one where Trump is Jesus Christ and he puts his hand over his forehead, his hand glows, and Mitch's forehead glows and he pulls his hand away and Mitch stays dead and Trump just shakes his head and walks away. And it was funny. Had to have been the Iranians. Um,
We're not hearing about a lot of these guys' health.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Donald
that's
Trump
true.
for one.
Mhm.
Well, but I mean, Mitch McConnell, like why? Okay, let's
But Lindsey Graham had stage 4 prostate cancer, but nobody knew about it. At least I didn't. I hadn't heard it. I don't know if any of you guys had.
How did you hear it now to tell us?
It's in some news report by, I don't know, Aaron Parnas, who seems to have every piece of this story. This happens to be, by the way, Lev Parnas's son.
I was getting ready to
Remember
say
Lev?
that name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is one of the better independent journalists online. He has his own show, basically. And you look at him and you go, it's hard to believe anything this kid says. Yet he really is good. And he gets the story. And he actually gets scoops, because I suppose because he's, Lev Parnas's son.
That's
Anyway.
a good reason. Yeah, sure.
Look, I don't want to say that's what it is. I honestly, because
Well,
I
the,
like
the
it.
worst,
I had not heard
the
that.
worst thing that Lindsey Graham did was to really fight back hard against the drunkification of the Supreme Court justice, who he basically saved from being kicked off. What was that guy's name?
Brett Kavanaugh.
Yes, thank you. So I thought, as did several people on TV, that was really where Lindsey Graham showed his true colors, and at the same time did a service to all of us by basically saying, "Hey, this is what's really going on." It was startling, annoying, frustrating. I wasn't in favor of what he had to say, but I respected him immensely.
Well, my respect for him kind of went away a while ago, as Frank was mentioning that he was a very different person in the John McCain era and the Three Amigos era with Senator Lieberman. They were a bit of a force, and they had a sort of ethical, backbone to them. They had I think all three of them had the ability to cross the aisle, to converse in ways that aren't demeaning, or just, they're just, different. And I used to find I didn't much agree with Lindsey Graham, but I had respected him. And then some, when he just fell in so hard with Trump, it was I took up I hate to say it, but I took up the saying in this household. I said, well, Lindsey Graham is dead to me. So now
you know what?
Wow.
Based on what you're saying, I'm gonna speculate for a minute here. I think he flipped when two things happened. He found out that he had a really bad cancer case, and the Benjamins just started to pour in. I'm sorry, but a guy that I thought was pretty together being flipped by somebody like Donald Trump, there had to be other reasons involved in it. I think those two reasons played a role in whatever happened to his mind changing and him becoming somebody that wasn't quite as ethical as we thought. And, who, sure, he's a hawk, but his whole position with Iran, I thought was untenable. And it was just so bad. His direction to me had just gone, like, I respected him too. And then I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they say is, if you can't say something good about somebody, don't say anything.
Well, the corollary is, if you can't
too late
say,
for that.
if you can't say anything good about somebody, then just keep talking.
Yeah. Too late for that.
You know, I think he was emblematic of modern politicians, which is a man of zero principle. Basically, smell which way the wind is blowing, and go.
He
and go with
wasn't,
it.
though, until recently, at least recently in my
Well, you
mind.
can't. Yeah, actually, that's something that doesn't change. It means he was always, because you can't suddenly become a person.
Yep. And we didn't know it. But look, he did gain some $2 or $3 million a year in the last 3 or 4 years into his personal wealth. I had also heard that, I don't know if the numbers are right. I had also heard that from an independent journalist, keeping in mind that these are independent journalists and not backed up by large staffs and all of that. I don't know if any of this stuff is true, and I certainly don't know if my speculation was true. It just feels like it.
That bit I would care a little bit less about. It's more that he didn't have any, belief system. You want a politician to believe in something. Going all the way back to the Greeks and Plato and Socrates, politics is meant to be about vision, belief, standing for something. It's not about you. And unfortunately, and he's not alone in this, it's all about I don't want to say you because that's too singular. Collectively, politicians are all about themselves these days, and not about anything else.
Well, maybe it certainly shouldn't be that way. It's certainly exactly what we don't want a politician to be, is all about them and not about the people, who they represent and who they, and the people who are trust them.
I think once we get through the midterms, it's going to be a general wakening up to the notion that we endow politicians with all these things that we don't believe in ourselves.
Well, I think that some politicians might actually have the same belief system that ourselves have, and that's why they get elected. You know what I'm saying? That they offer something that people already believe in, and that to me is so much of the whole electoral process in a nutshell. As you get closer to the actual vote, it becomes something that is emotional more than it is strategic.
So the process of replacing in the Senate will go to a special election in August in South Carolina, and until then, the governor has the right to appoint a temporary figure to that post. This is unlike what they can do in Kentucky. Kentucky does not allow the governor to appoint a temporary person. They have to just go to special election.
Can I make
referencing Mitch McConnell's state?
A caveat to that?
Mm-hmm.
That only became the case when they got a Democratic governor. They put that law in place first.
Coincidence, sure.
Is the special election, here you go, and I don't sound like an idiot. Is the special election only Republicans? Or is it open to Republicans and Democrats and undecided? Is it?
I would assume that it's a primary.
Yeah, I think this is just on the Republican side because he had already won their primary. Mm-hmm. So the next in November, it'll be an election for Republican the next full 6 years.
Yeah, they're trying to replace the will of the people previously. So one other thing that I can't remember.
Well, I do that all the time. That's what my cat does. He runs a.
Oh no, I remember now. Thanks. As soon as I heard that being compared to a cat.
Yeah, my cat's dead, by the way.
We need that.
Uh,
I liked him. He was a good. He
Come
was a
out.
good cat.
we've been watching the American Revolution, which is just an amazing piece of work.
The
You,
cat.
you mean the
Burns
one
one?
by Larry David?
No, not
No,
that
that's different.
But it's still a piece of work.
It sure is.
That's
Oh
true.
my God, it's incredible.
Oh, I wouldn't call it incredible. It's more credible.
You know, if it's the problem with me and Larry David, as much as I love this show and the concept and the stars and the scripts and the makeup, the whole 9 yards, is that it's so fucking annoying. I mean, I get to the point where I'm watching and I'm going, please just take it down a quarter of a notch, just a teeny bit, instead of
Yeah.
like 80,
And he's
18 of
thinking,
these things.
and he's thinking, I think I'm going to take it up a quarter of a notch.
Yeah.
Oh, you bet.
We
Oh, he'll do that just
we did
because
2 episodes.
he does that just because he can't believe that people actually pay him to do that kind of stuff. I believe he really does try to take it to the limit just to see how much people will actually give him to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty bizarre stuff. I mean, it's awfully it's creative. I got to tell you, especially that episode with Alexander Graham Bell. It was just so funny. It was just so
That we
funny.
saw that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
But just think who's producing this.
Obama.
Yeah, this.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Did you see his intro to the first episode?
That was hilarious.
That
That
was
was funnier than
tremendous.
the
That
rest
was
of the
tremendous.
series.
I mean, that's not in the script. And then he brought that gag back later on in one of the
No spoilers.
sketches. Okay, you haven't seen it. Okay,
I'm
There's
taking
only 3 of
Keith
them.
hasn't watched this.
Keith, you haven't seen this, have you?
No.
It's called what is it? Life, Larry, and the Pursuit of Unhappiness.
Even the
and
title is great.
it's on. I want to say it's on Prime Video. Is that where it
No,
is?
it's on HBO Max.
HBO Max. So for us, it's Sky or Now. And
So did you
it's
stop watching it or did you watch it, Frank, all the way through?
no, I watched 2 of the episodes all the way through. And the third episode, my wife saw me laughing at the second episode and said, "You have to watch the third episode with me." So after our show this evening, I'm going to go in and watch the third episode with her.
It came out Friday.
Oh,
Here.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's.
okay. It's
Have
not
you
all-
only seen you've only seen clips of it?
No, we've seen the 2 episodes.
Oh,
I
you
didn't
have.
realize that when we stopped and we said, that there weren't any more.
She's not that hot. She's just not my type.
I even got a friend in the show and I was ready to pass on it, but
You got a friend that's in the show?
yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
say who it is.
I'm not gonna-
What, you're not going to promote your friend? Oh,
You just
with
can't
friends
unname
like
her.
these.
Friend of mine named Wayne Fetterman.
That
Does
name
anyone
sounds
know
very
him?
familiar.
But,
Fetterman.
he does.
Fetterman.
He's
Wayne's
been
brother
on
Andrew.
for
I can
Is he
see
a
it.
comic? Is he a comedy
Yeah,
guy?
former comic, now
See,
educational maven.
Schmelgren.
Oh,
I wouldn't say that. He's producing too. He's been producing
no.
those documentaries with
He was the
Judge-
guy on the famous commercial that said, "Not exactly." That
So
guy.
I'm telling, but Keith, you need to see the show. It's worth it, especially since I think the crazy thing about it is it's like 3 things in one show. You really don't see the end coming from each of these little sketches until the end comes, and then the next one starts.
Mm.
At least here, because there's no commercials in the one I'm looking at. But
A goon show it is not, but it is great.
there you go. It's not good, but it's great.
Now, on the other side, there is because I too have watched the Ken Burns Revolutionary War thing
Mm.
on I think it's the BBC Select channel that I get through Amazon Prime. They actually have like the British take on the 250-year thing. It's pretty interesting.
Well, the modern Brits would never support the king, so I'm guessing it's pretty pro the American Revolution.
Mm,
No.
mm.
That's
That's all
not
I
a
can say is
We just realized I do a lot of.
Pretty,
Should I tell them what's
pretty,
right?
pretty, pretty.
Yeah. We had,
anyway. How about Cash Patel?
What
Cash
what did
man.
he do?
Yeah.
He got
Everything
called into
apparently.
the office. He got
What
called to
happened?
the office.
Please describe.
Apparently, he's doing a little too much with his spending, and
oh,
and taking trips that he tries to hide as office visits, but they're actually visits to see his girlfriend. I guess she's a singer or something.
Yes, she is.
She's on tour, I guess, and so it just very coincidentally, whenever she's in a city doing a show, he just so happens to have a military site inspection for going there showing
right.
up.
And
Or going in and checking out his guys in the local
Oh, the local
office
offices.
of the
That's right.
FBI, and it's he changed all of the trucks that they own. They all own these. You
Yeah.
always hear about
Didn't they get
black
Benzes or
SUVs.
something?
They got BMWs. They got
BMWs.
triple reinforced body frames with triple reinforced bulletproof glass and all sorts of other wacky stuff. But BMWs and the Senate wants to know.
Chuck Grassley wants to know.
Yeah, of all people. Did anybody know about this before you did this?
right. So, and isn't he also taking government planes to do that? So, I
Well,
mean,
the
anyone coming
FBI
up
has
with
a
dollar
number.
amount that he's
Yeah.
spending per trip
Yeah.
to go see his
Yeah.
girlfriend, and
Tina, he
You
flies BCA.
What does that mean?
Booty call airline.
but the thing even
Did not expect that coming from
listen,
Keith.
let me tell you something. His the deal with the using the federal planes is that if you're the head of the department, you can do it on your own private personal time if you pay the coach seat equivalent. So he could take the sexiest G5 somewhere and sit in first class and be served the whole time, and he's paying like $300. So he could, and he claims that he's actually done that and that it's within the law. The question is, somebody has to do what Tina suggested and put all the numbers together.
yeah.
Boy,
But
these,
for me, it goes.
How much the taxpayers are paying for him to go see his girlfriend.
Listen,
me,
all of these stories happening all at the same time over the longest period of time has pretty much deadened me, if not almost everyone that is being inundated with this. Well, there's a British word for it, and it's not kerfuffle, and it's not flum. I can't remember what it is.
Trivia.
Well, no, that too. It's just a giant pig fuck.
That was the word I was looking for.
For me, Frank, it goes into that, when you said you're dead to it, it goes into that category of things, and it's a very long list of things we shouldn't get preoccupied with because they're not the main point. And the more we get preoccupied with these things, the less we're really debating the stuff we should be debating. So not us, but in general, people. So everything from the Russian issue all the way through to him spending money and Hegseth being a lunatic who drinks. To me, they're not the talking points we should be focused on.
You're right.
You know what? You're 100% right, but it's not nearly as much fun. That's all. If you forget the fun stuff, then
aren't we back in a war again too?
We're back in a war again.
Yes,
yeah, and we're still running Venezuela, but you never hear about that. And
Yeah, how did the American help out in Venezuela go?
yeah, we haven't heard very much about that. They had a really bad earthquake, and we didn't hear about.
No, they had two really bad earthquakes.
Well, boom, boom. They had two really
Yeah,
bad.
Venezuela, but we actually
Yeah.
didn't take charge. We had someone else. She's down there taking. She's got it
Yeah,
under control.
we're
Thank
already
you.
on
Move
to
on.
Cuba. We're already
Yeah,
on.
moving
But
on. Moving on.
Moving
I
on
always
to Greenland again.
Yeah,
I
go
always
ahead.
think I always, whenever there's a war and everyone says it's about the oil, I always think no, it isn't actually about the oil. But in the case of Venezuela, it's about the oil.
There's nothing else.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have it. That was it. Venezuela oil. Boom.
Yeah, we moved back to Greenland, and we're still waiting to go to Cuba, right? I mean, we got so many things we're
Listen.
doing here.
And how close are we to actually seeing the Epstein files? It's everyone's saying that there's something coming that's pretty big and unredacted, and the Rokana was saying that, and didn't Rokana get
That's also in my list, Frank. The Epstein files go in that list.
I don't agree with that. I think the Epstein files are a lot more if they exist.
Well,
it's
one of the few bipartisan problems. So no one benefits.
That's why the closer they get, he starts throwing people under the bus. Cash is gone pretty soon. XX is going to be
You
gone pretty
bet.
soon.
Yeah, keg's breath.
Before any of that Epstein stuff can come to light, he's going to be trying to do things. Look over here, firing over there. That's what's going to happen.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Really. But I know you're right, Keith. On the one hand, you're absolutely right that we really, as informed citizens with a civic pride and real patriotism, should be looking at things differently. But
What
as I
about
said,
this whole
I
thing?
know, I'm gonna.
Oh, go ahead. Because
I was
got a rant.
just going to reiterate that this other shit is fun. Anyway, go ahead.
There was a ton of writing this week, which we may or may not want to talk about, but it was all about America having lost the self-confidence that goes along with being the world leader. People date it differently. Some people date it back to the Vietnam War. Some people date it more recently, but most American politics are a reaction to the loss of self-confidence, which I thought was a very interesting way of framing most of what is going on psychologically. And this awareness of China as kind of growing in the background. And some people say China will never be number one. Other people say it's inevitable. They will be number one. There's a wide range of opinions, but they're all aware of China as kind of creeping up on the outside lane. And so like American politics can't really escape being of the moment. It's like a politics of its time. And if it's true that lack of self-confidence is driving it, then you look at the whole AI stuff as the rebirth of self-confidence. Like suddenly there's something to be optimistic about, although most people aren't. But insofar as there is any optimism, it seems to be all around AI.
And the World Cup.
And well, until America got knocked out, you're sitting in London, so they're still optimistic. But I guarantee you, after the Argentina game, that will.
Yeah.
I think there's a bigger.
We just love the phone call that Trump made, but we'll talk about that later.
I just think there's a bigger issue. I mean, especially when you talk about the AI stuff. And we all saw what the resident. I call him the resident. I'm sorry, I can't.
Resident. I like that.
Yeah, the resident. His trip to the whatever was it, the G7 or G8 or whatever. How
NATO.
tremendously how tremendously hideous that was for him. Did you see the video of the guy from Turkey welcoming him and Trump coming off the plane? Dude didn't know where the hell he was. The Erdogan actually had to grab him by the arm and help him, lead him in, and he stopped and like just turned for some reason, and then Erdogan had to like position him back. And this dude he's a train wreck. And then like he falls asleep right in mid sentence for these people, these world leaders. He almost fell off his damn chair. I mean, he was leaning over like this. I was like, is somebody gonna prop him up? Because he's about to fall. Uh,
Every time I go to London, that happens to me for the first 4 days. It's like,
yeah, but you're not the president, man. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, I've got to say that, traveling and getting right off a plane and being like with it and I don't know, just super aware. I don't know.
Let me say
I think
something,
for
Tina.
anybody, but somebody who's, 80 years old, it's got to be a little taxing, don't you think?
He flew in, by the way, on the Qatari jet.
oh, on the one,
That's
yeah.
not
And
bad.
the Qatari jet apparently has a bedroom bigger than, I don't know, your house. It's like 2,000 square feet in the
Most
back
do,
with.
actually.
And if you, and they can pressurize the cabin any way they want to make you not have problems with any kind of flight related issues when you land. He's travels all the time. He's perfectly, he's got that under control.
And what about what he
doesn't
did in
have,
Spain?
what he doesn't, oh yeah, and how stupid was that? Because the European Union is who negotiates with him, not Spain.
And so all of that kind of lines up with something somebody told me at the beginning of the year uh, about how the relationship between the U.S. and really Trump and India, because of his actions, has gotten so bad that a lot of the Indian companies that were and actually the government that were using technology from America said, you know what, we need to start pulling our stuff out of America because this guy could do or say anything and a flip of a switch, they're going to have all our stuff and we're not going to have anything to be able to run on in our own for our own country. So you heard that India is apparently has been the country, the government has been doing a whole bunch of pulling out of Microsoft, pulling out of Google, and any of the other big technology companies that are located headquartered here because they don't trust this guy anymore. And then you start hearing about some other European countries doing the same thing. This is going to get real hectic and not too in the not too distant future because these countries are finding ways to figure out how to deal without the America, the shining leading country. Uh, it's almost they're pulling out big pieces of the puzzle, and we're going to be stuck completely on our own with
What happens,
nothing.
Brent? What happens, I think, when something like this occurs, which I totally think is what's happening, is that once the spike occurs, because of whatever the corruption or the whatever it is, once the spike occurs, it doesn't come back down. Business keeps it up there, and it may be.
Frank, I think I mean, there's always personalities, of course, but I think if you look at the UK in terms of its global relationships, it really doesn't have any. Europe hates it because of Brexit. India and China, I think it's an afterthought. And the UK, which used to be this huge empire, now struggles to have any meaningful, deep relationships, such that its strongest relationship is to the US, which isn't really a relationship at all because it's so one-sided.
Wow.
And I think this is symptomatic of, post-empire. Payback's a bitch. Once you're no longer top dog.
Boy, I didn't realize you guys were that patient.
Yeah, no, and so what you just described is probably the end game, which is America is a very wealthy, powerful, independent nation with no friends.
What I found really
they've been saying
interesting
is
about
America
the
first, America alone.
what I found interesting about the American Revolution was how much we screwed up and still won.
Mhm.
So
That seems to be a historic
So
pattern.
talking about the current situation as the end game, I think is
too premature.
Possible,
Yeah.
but unlikely.
No, I'm not, and I agree with you, and I'm not trying to do that. So if I came across as saying that, what I meant is there is an end game. It isn't yet, but we're on a journey, and some of the signals are already there.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, screwing up and then winning is a perfect short form version of England versus Norway.
Bringing it right back to the World Cup. Huh?
You know,
Yeah.
so I wish I was in Nice to watch these. It's such a vibrant town to be in and watch the French
Mhm.
team play.
Yeah, I heard it's kind of nice
and-
in these.
It is nice in Nice, although right now it's probably 130 degrees in
Yeah.
Nice. I mean,
It's not good.
but you know what? You just dip your toes in the Mediterranean. That's all you got to do.
Now, do you find that when the Europeans are watching football that they most like to be in a crowd doing it at a pub,
Yes.
in a bar,
Yes.
a restaurant, or
Yes.
something?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a communal
Absolutely.
thing.
I would always do that. When I'm in
Yeah.
London, you always go and book a table at a pub for a game.
Because it's more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, you want to be with fans. It's funny, at my house yesterday, we had, for the first time in the World Cup, we invited some family friends over. They're British Pakistani, and they're all England fans. And they all came with their England shirts. And my youngest son, Luke, is completely hostile to us inviting anyone for World Cup games unless they're passionate supporters, because he doesn't want to have to chit chat to a game. He wants to only watch the game.
Okay. He wants
Well,
he wants the people who are going to stand up and scream and
Yeah, exactly. And
he
that's kind of nice.
yeah, it is. It is fun. But you can't really find that in the US yet,
Well, you can hear in Redwood City and in San Jose, there's two fan fest areas that are wall to wall people watching on big screens
Mhm.
and going crazy.
You know,
But
I think it actually exists here in Charleston as well. I have seen on the side of some like breweries and places that, oh, it's an official watching place and so I haven't gone in, but it sounds like, if I was gonna do that, I would go there, right?
yeah, yeah.
Go there for a University of South Carolina football game. You'll really get it.
Yeah,
You'll get a real good taste of that. Or go to a tailgate, even better.
right.
yeah, you can carry a gun to one of those if you want.
Yeah, you actually
It's
can.
an open
You
carry.
can. I know you can. And I don't think it needs to be out in the open.
Well, that takes you right back to the revolution, right? Open gun.
Doesn't it? Yeah. You know what? That was for the militias, Keith. Come on. That's what the founders always thought.
Yeah.
I hate to switch, but I want to get Keith's take on what the implications or ramifications or whatever word that ends with Iowa and S for Apple suing OpenAI.
Yeah. Well, it's a very narrow lawsuit related to hardware technologies, and it's a single person.
Yeah, the
Who
guy
left.
that left Apple that was like the iPhone designer guy or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that Johnny Ive?
No, not Johnny Ive. It's Lynn, is it? Somebody Lynn. I can't
Something
remember
like
the
that.
exact name. But this person apparently, um, when you leave Apple, there's a kind of a security regime that kicks in around the before, after, and during. And this guy didn't disclose he was leaving, and apparently had access to documents that he emailed to himself during this gray area phase when he'd already knew he was going to OpenAI, but hadn't actually left yet. And it all pertains to that. OpenAI are saying that, whatever this person did, they haven't benefited from it and have no interest in reading those documents because they got their own roadmap, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know if OpenAI is actually liable or whether this person's liable, but certainly it seems as if some shady business went down.
I was just going to say that sounds like bullshit.
What about the timing of this? Right when they're trying to IPO, this lawsuit comes out. That's kind of interesting, I thought.
Well, yeah, Apple Apple historically has been very aggressive opponents of the next generation of stuff. I mean, if you think about how they played Facebook over the last 10 years, it was masterful. And Apple certainly is quite capable of wielding a heavy hand to affect the pace of change. And you would imagine that in this domain, along with Google, who are now their partners, they have a collective interest in anything that slows down Anthropic and OpenAI. So it isn't necessarily worthy, but if there's smoke, there's probably fire. So you can't blame them for going for it.
Oh, interesting. I just
Get it
saw
now.
something that came across from the information. I'm just gonna see if I can show you this. Oh, wrong way. The high
I like the
equity trade
information.
spreading through the AI boom. This whole
What's it
equity
about?
trade. I'll read it a little bit. It's shaping up to be a big year for equity capital markets, bankers. Between SpaceX's record-breaking debut, hasn't that kind of come back to the ground a little bit? And already public companies issuing stock at a rapid clip. One often overlooked part of the market is also active, fueled in part by capital demands of the AI boom. Are we getting closer to this thing blowing up? It just feels like there's more and
Well,
more money coming in. Now more is being debt financed as opposed to just, you make a lot of money and you pay for your stuff out of the money you make. It seems like more and more we're getting to a point where all this investment is now being debt financed. That's
so I didn't get a chance on my show yesterday to really talk about it, but I did a six grid matrix this week in my editorial that puts all this stuff into time zones, short term, medium term, long term, and macro versus micro issues. And the build out was in the medium term one. And the way it's being financed was in the medium term one at the micro level. So they have to actually do stuff right now to get the amount of energy and the amount of computing power required. And debt finance is very good as long as you have revenue. So because you can service the debt. And at least for now, the revenue is very real and very large and growing very fast. So I don't think the S is going to hit the F anytime soon. I think it can keep going. The short-term problem actually is pricing of tokens. And there's a huge distraction right now. And people are making the wrong calls. The biggest wrong call of all is on the All In podcast, which is completely misunderstood what's going on.
the
And
one that you mentioned before, right, Steve? The all-in thing.
Yeah, that was specifically about All In starring Mark Benioff.
so Chamath Palihapitiya and his crew have drawn the conclusion we should all be using the Chinese open source models because Anthropic is charging too much for tokens and your bills are going up too fast. And OpenAI is competing by not charging as much for tokens. It's much more efficient, if you will. It uses less tokens for every goal. And there's this big pylon saying, OpenAI and Anthropic are dead because no one's going to pay those prices. Meanwhile, pretty much 99% of all the revenue in AI is going to either Anthropic or OpenAI. And so I think they're kind of conflating short-term anxiety with what the long-term outcomes are likely to be. And it feels to me as if pricing is going to get fixed. Pricing ultimately always gets fixed because the market forces it to. And the American models are so far ahead quality-wise, even of the best Chinese models that claim to have caught up. Good luck trying to spin up your own cloud with your own Chinese AI and then building some kind of routing mechanism that chooses between them based on cost. No one's going to do that. So I think it's all I think they're completely getting caught up in the moment, and they're driven by their own short-term interests, because Chamath in particular is running his own business in this space, advising enterprises what to do. And I think he's blowing his own trumpet when he says those things.
It would seem maybe in the future, do you think that part of how we use AI will be for the AIs to decide which one is most economical and which one can handle the subject matter best? And then,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, there's already a cloud service called Open Router, which has all the models in it. And you can get what's called an API key for that. And you can build that into your software. And you can tell your agent, use Open Router and have it route to the lowest cost AI for this particular task, where it will be successful and cost less. And that's beginning to come in, and that will happen. But
right now, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but one has to have an account, some accounts are free to a certain point, some accounts are a deeper and more expensive. So it's not like a piecemeal thing. Just like, okay, I just want to go do this one thing with that AI at this point in time, but I don't want to have a membership or whatever.
I think, well, the way it's going, how, imagine if you had to have a subscription to every website and there was no such thing as AT&T to get your broadband from, but you had to pay everyone. And eventually it all ends up that the internet's there and you just pay AT&T and you get access to everything. And you've got to have some subscriptions beyond that if for paid areas. I think AI goes in that direction where you end up with a single subscription that has access to everything. Grok launched 4.5 this week, built into Cursor, which it now owns. And Cursor has access to every model, for example, not only Grok. And so there are tools emerging. OpenClaw, which is what me and Steve have been using to do some work, you can assign it to any model. We assign it to OpenAI, but actually at the lower level, you can change that to any of the models. So I think you're getting to the point where the interface and the models are separate, and the interface has access to whatever model you want, including multiple models. And you'll end up, and then if you pay more, you can do more with the models.
Maybe we're going to be paying a service that allows us to go in whatever direction we want to go, and hopefully it's going to be seamless.
Yeah, it's already pretty seamless, but I do think that if you're new to it and learning, it's pretty hard to navigate.
Yeah.
You kind of got to know what you're doing.
Right.
By the way, Center just won Wimbledon.
Oh, wow. 3 sets or 4 sets?
Yeah.
4 sets.
Once around the table and then we're done.
Yeah, by the way, it's getting darker and darker in our room here because we are looking at a storm that's about to explode.
Same here. It started raining here.
Is it happening where you are? Yeah.
Okay, so once around the table, let's start with Frank.
So I wrote a song back in the 60s. I think it was around 65 when I wrote the lyrics for this song.
I wasn't even around yet.
And I wrote, I thought it was a good story and a good piece of lyric. And but I never recorded it. I never did anything with it. And I kept it. And lo and behold, along comes these AI apps that allow you to manipulate things depending on which one you get and how much you're spending for it and how many layers you want to mess around with. Can help you get your song recorded. So I went, yeah, but okay, here are my lyrics. This has got to be my lyrics, but here's the kind of song I want. And I prompted with a bunch of questions, a bunch of prompts. But it has to be me. It has to be my voice. So I read the entire lyric, or sang the entire lyric, and then fed it to them. And I said, and the guitar tone has to be very specific in the guitar breaks. And I, got it to them. And then I went, okay, make it. Boom. And about 5 minutes later, there it was. And it was pretty cool. And it's on Spotify and Amazon Music and Apple Music right now. And it's called Pool Hall Gambling Man. And me, the artist, is FJ Radis.
What's the J? I never.
John.
Oh, Frank John?
Francis John.
Francis John. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Frank Jesus Radis.
You bet. Or no, actually, it's probably closer to Jesus. But
Jesus.
But anyway, there you go. And I'm sitting there, and it's not doing much. It's not losing any ground. It's creeping up a little bit, and I just don't want to spend any money to market it. I'm not gonna do that.
How do you feel about it? I know that we're supposed to be like ending the show here, but how do you feel about it as a creative? Like, did it?
I think it's great. I think it offers you all sorts of expansive idea ranges, and it's like if you manipulate it, it's like an instrument.
Right.
I'm telling you, if you look at it, I was probably going to be the last one because I'm not going to have my script for my movie done AI, but I will have it take a look at my script and see what AI will do for it. And I think that's the way tools like these get used in the entertainment business.
Mm-hmm. Are you doing a biopic?
Well, you mean the document? We're doing a documentary and a full-blown feature.
Oh, cool.
Or series. It's one or the other. It depends on.
Frank, it comes back to self-confidence. If you're self-confident using AI, it will reflect you strongly and you'll guide it, and it won't step outside the bounds of what you want. But if you're a little bit insecure, it'll come into those gaps and it won't feel like you anymore.
Because I ended up with a piece of music that I actually like a lot, and it is me. But here's the interesting thing. It is not how I would have phrased the words, which I found really interesting. It was, oh, that's a different way to do that. Because for years, whenever I picked up a guitar and I tooled with the song, I sang it differently.
It's an AI cover. It's an AI cover of Frank Radis.
There you go.
Wow.
But it was fun to do, and I'm glad I did it. And I'm probably going to be paying hundreds of dollars for all these AI things for music until like next month, when I can then cancel.
I used it for the jingle of That Was the Week, which I don't use anymore. But it's like the lyrics. I did the lyrics. Something like "Think big, dig deep." That was the week. And it made up this whole.
That's nice.
They made up a rap song around it, which I used. My wife started to hate hearing it, so now I've taken it off.
Honestly, in terms of marketing, when people start hate hearing it is about when they actually start to remember it. It's not so much hate hearing it. It is that, oh my God, it's that song again, or
I just posted something earlier today on Facebook. It was Terry Lewis from Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. He actually answered they asked him that question, what do you think about AI and music and creative? I should just send it to you guys. You should hear his answer, because he's one of the dynamic duo of at least 80s and 90s music.
What do you say?
I'll send you the link.
Yeah, you don't want to say what he said.
No, it's because it sounds better coming from him. I mean, just me. But I will say this. In the early 80s, when the Lynn drum came out, there were a lot of purists that were like, oh, what is this program? Yes. And guess what? Prince looked at it as like, this is something else I can use to create. And he learned how to use it to the point where even the guy that created the Lindrum said, if you really want to know how to use it, ask Prince, because all those songs that came out in the 80s, the Lindrum was the foundation for a lot of those songs. So he looked at it as another way to create, another tool to help him create. That's how AI should be looked at.
I totally
and by the
agree.
way, yeah, yep, exactly, 100%. The Lindrum, by the way, and the other half of that was samples.
Yes.
And it was about the Lindrum and samples. And I think I told this story before, going into Chungking Studios, where LL Cool J's and the Beastie Boys and Run DMC, those guys all recorded, and they would always be there. And Puffy was an intern, and it was they would be doing these samples and stealing these riffs, and I would walk by the studio and I would hear like this James Brown thing and then this drum thing, and it would just get some real instruments in here. They looked at me like I was an idiot, and so I was one of the trends that I was really wrong about.
Well, you weren't alone though. I mean, you know, and like you said about the sampling, Public Enemy, the Bomb Squad, those guys went through. If you look at some of their early songs, they have to list where each of these little samples. They got like 50 different pieces from like all these different albums, stuff that most people didn't even know was out there, and they're just putting it in and piecing it together and layering it and creating a whole unique sound off of all the stuff that came before them.
Yeah, and that of course also had something to do with the music industry saying, well, wait a minute, if you're going to sample these songs, then some percentage of the income should go back to the writers who did that.
Yeah,
or the performers who did that. Or oh my God, it changed the whole business.
That's why you don't see or hear anything like those songs.
But
you have to get the approval and pay for 50 different little sounds that came from other albums.
But it also opens up, you know, if you think about musical creativity, the further back you go, the more it required the capability to play one or more instruments.
Well, you had to know music. You
had to know music. Now, all those people walking around with sounds in their head or words in their head come into play.
They aren't musicians.
They're not musicians, but they're still creative. Well, they will end up becoming music producers, but it'll be from their head.
Modern music producers
to your ears, but they will. But some of their stuff will be compelling because of what's in their head. It might be the story or the lyrics or the presentation.
The only problem I have with a lot of these folks is not that. It's that they replace learning actual music for that. They think that they're musicians because they can use these services, and not and in place of actually learning music, learning how to.
So you're talking. But there are a whole bunch of other people out there who are actually musicians who are using that like me.
Yeah, they have a foundation of music.
You know, Brent, though, the idea of what a musician may start to evolve. Right?
I'm sure it will, but
so like actually learning how to play an instrument. Well, maybe that isn't the crux of the matter. Maybe it's how we use those instruments and how we arrange it. And as Frank, what I intuited from what Frank said is the deeper his knowledge is about music and his guitar and the sound and the history of the music that he likes and how he wants this song to sound. He has this like wealth of knowledge about it, and he can tell the AI, okay, do it like this. Let's experiment with that.
I'm not talking about the Franks, because he actually did learn all that stuff.
Right.
I'm talking about the people who start with the prompt and think that they're musicians.
So I think there's a concept, Brent. There's a concept which you embrace for everything except music, and that's the concept of unlocking capability, using tech to unlock capability. Like what we're doing here would have been only for professional networks and studios in the past, and this tech has unlocked us to do what we're doing. And you could argue we're not really broadcasters. We're not really intelligent. You shouldn't be listening to us because we're amateurs. But no, actually, it's unlocked something, and I think that's going to happen to music.
Well, I wouldn't call Frank an amateur. He's been doing this
That's
professionally for 150 years.
I wasn't calling Frank an amateur. I was mocking. I was being self-mocking in a British way that is comedic.
Self-mocking, by the way, is smocking.
Smocking.
I think these perspectives are overweighted in both directions. Some of the most talented and deep musicians that I've ever known or worked with are equally facile with both the technology and the creativity.
You were an example of that.
Well, I wasn't, but some of the people.
You were, because when you brought certain musicians together and then you created what the sound was and how you recorded it, all of those things, that's all the same thing. That's all part of it.
Have you heard that term, like music today doesn't sound the same as music did back then? Particularly the like the guitar acoustic sounds and the way that they were recorded. They created a different sound than it does this electronic stuff does now.
Yeah, I totally agree. But my kids wouldn't agree.
They don't know any better. That's why they wouldn't agree.
I think they know. Like when you see those rappers who put an old acoustic guitar track into a rap song, they know.
But those old rappers heard it before when they were little kids.
Yeah.
Your kids, when's the last time your kids have pulled out a piece of vinyl and placed it on a turntable?
Never. I have one in my living room with a piece of vinyl waiting there, and they don't get tempted by it.
I don't think they know what they are missing because they never heard what they missed.
Yeah.
I'm so ready to go back out and buy myself a new stereo because it's been hard for me. I used to own a Macintosh.
Oh, I like
stereo system, and it was not the Apple Macintosh, but the Macintosh. And it, they're
the amp,
the preamp, and the accessories that go along with it, and I got a really great turntable. It was just such a great system, and two huge speaker systems, and I sold it all. I haven't even got it around anymore. I used to have great amplifiers.
I sold 500 or more vinyl records when I graduated college to pay for whatever lifestyle I wanted after that.
At least you had them.
I still have mine, and there's some surprisingly valuable stuff.
Of course, there is.
I'm going to tilt my camera up. I'll tilt my camera up, and you should be able to see all the CDs. Those are all. That's all CDs.
Jesus.
Boy, the music purists were so against that.
Yeah, when they
I don't agree with that. I mean, I understand what they're saying about digital versus
analog.
Yeah, kind of. The sound in there's a engineer who worked with Quincy Jones, who was known for his syncing up of both 24-track digital recorders and 2-track or 16-track analog recorders, 2-inch tape, basically. And that's where they got that kind of off the wall, predicate that Thriller was based on. That whole feel was actually a hybrid mix of digital and analog. So there are definitely aficionados on both sides of that question, and some who straddle the issue.
Yeah, we call him Q, by the way.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. How's he doing, by the way?
Okay. Lindsay.
No,
that's Lindsay. Anyway.
Yeah. No.
That was
all right. Tina, last thoughts, and let's get going.
Well, I don't know. I'm worried about the storm. It's
Okay.
really getting bad here.
That's a good one.
right.
I got no last words. Move
Okay.
on.
All right. Thanks, guys.
The
Everything
rain
you
in
know-
the rain in
Uh,
Spain falls mainly in Atlanta.
South Carolina.
Yeah, too
Hard-
bad because
we had the
they
storm
really
and it's
need
already it got dark. It rained like crazy for 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and now the sun is coming back out.
you know, the rain in Spain would really be useful right now. Spain is burning.
Mm.
Mm,
Really?
yeah.
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 We're having big fires.
Don't tell
Yeah.
Trump that. He might keep water from going there.
Yeah.
They're playing the World Cup there 4 years from now, and everyone's saying how crazy that is as a choice because they don't have air-conditioned stadiums in Europe.
Oh hell no!
They don't?
There's no way
No.
I'd be going.
Air-conditioned stadiums are unique to the US and the Middle East.
That's
Mm.
why everybody that's come to these games are saying these stadiums are great.
Yeah, the Middle East, that's, you know, the entire reason for Dubai being what is the single most important thing there? Air conditioning.
Mm.
Wow! What a fantastic note to end on.
Thanks to everybody who showed up, and especially those who didn't. We'll see you again next time.
Bye.
Later.
Bye-bye.
I mean,
Frank's gone. That was quick.
Yeah.
Frank's gone. Wow. I couldn't wait to get out of here.
Oh my goodness. Well,
Oh, well.
I had so much fun with these games. We're kind of ready for it to be over in the sense that, you know, it seems to be like
Oh, you're still streaming, by the way. You're still streaming.
oh